Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. I want to talk about Lego Dungeons and Dragons and how Lego 21348, how Lego Dungeons and Dragons Red Dragon's Tail set 21348 is changing my life. So, the first thing I want to talk about is kind of this release of anxiety. I have to be honest with you. I was becoming a little anxious about this set. So I think we heard about this set about a year. I did need to do math on this, but I think it's about a year and a half. That they said, hey, Lego and Dungeons and Dragons are going to come together, and I've been covering it ever since. Right, like just how massively this is going to change. Because there was the reason why I was worried that I have to say I'm shocked that this set happened, and the reason why is there's some risk here. There's incredible amount of risk for Lego, and there's incredible amount of risk for Dungeons and Dragons. So what was that risk? So first of all, these products are fused now, right? Like their fates are intertwined, right? Like good example of this is like the Marvel Multiverse RPG, right? They have a book called Cataclysm of Kang. That thing was because the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game is connected to the MCU. That book, every time you look at the cover now, you think about Jonathan Majors, you think about you think about Kang having to be pulled out of the MCU. There was risk. Basically any the most important products in the world today have legacy and they have momentum, right? And momentum means risk. Momentum means significant risk. This idea that movement is risk, right? Because if you're moving quickly and you hit something, there's damage, right? But no products can really survive today without momentum, right? And so basic and the other thing is, look at what happened, right? Lego announced a year and a half ago, right, that they were going to be combining with Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons then had the most scandal-filled year it's ever had, right? Like 2023 started with a massive scandal, and I did a video. There was literally a scandal every single month, right? Now the vast majority of those, I think there were actually two legitimate scandals and then there were like 10 that were accused, that Dungeons and Dragons was accused of. And Lego was like, we're going to continue forward here, right? Like Dungeons and Dragons is a 5-decade-year-old brand, and we think that and I think by connecting to Dungeons and Dragons, Lego was essentially saying, hey, we've been around forever, we understand that you can do great, and customers are upset. I'm seeing this now very much now in the Lego community. Every Lego review that comes out, they're like, this is too expensive, right? There's a ton, like, Lego is one of the most served communities in the world, and the vast majority of the reviews are like, I'm not happy. Like, yes, I'm getting another set. Yes, I get more Lego I get more product than any, product than any product, than any community. We get more product than any community in the world, and we're still not happy, right? So Lego is like, it's squawk, right? Like if you're doing something real, people are going to be upset with you. There's really no fundamental problem with Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons is a strong brand, and we want to be connected with them, right? But the other thing that really astounded me was just there's risk in saying, hey, Lego has all these essentially what used to be models, right, and that are now miniatures, and basically this is such a massive change for for Lego, because every set they've ever built, there are now rules to play those sets by the Lego Dungeons and Dragons rules, right? And not just, and that doesn't, and you're like, well, Scott, they'd still need the PHB, the DMG, and the MM. No, they would not. Literally, the rule set needed to run a story, a fate-bound dungeon master, a fate-bound story runner player experience is in Lego Dungeons and Dragons Red Dragon's Tales adventure. There's one page in there that is literally says, this is how you can create a story with every here's how you can create a story, right, with Lego, without any dice, without the PHP, without the MM, and without the DMG. You're like, what? The ramifications of this were massive, right? And so I really, the closer we got to this, I was like, it was like, and I'm confessing, I'm an evangelical Christian, but I struggle with contentment, and and I was like, this thing will shine so bright and will bring so much joy to my life, it can't possibly manifest into reality. It can't happen, right? There's no way this is gonna happen, right? Because we just don't get nice things, but we get nice things. It is absolute. The set is in my hand. I can't tell you the amount of joy I've had from it every single day. And what really astounded me was my wife was like, it was just like the hits keep on coming, right? My wife has this table, right? And she displays these nice things on it. And so she said, hey, what are you planning to do with your set? And I was like, and I kind of like, I was shocked by the question, right? And I started to answer, and it was this big, long answer. And she's like, no, when it's built, where are you going to put it, right? And I was like, that's a great question. She's like, well, you're going to put it here, right? And I was like, wait, that's your table, man. That's like where your things go, right? That is the most prominent display space in our house, right? And she's like, it's yours for your set. This is where you should put your set when it's built. And I was like, it blew me. I was stunned. Like, I was just, because, and my wife is incredibly kind, and, but like, we've been married, 32 years, and it really just powerfully, 32, that's right, yeah. And it blew me away because, like, she sees me, like, this is incredibly important to me, and it's just an incredible source of joy, and it's hard to even explain in how many ways it's changing my life. But I just wanted to be open with you. One way it's changing my life is there's like this release of tension in that I truly am shocked this became a reality. Like, because I truly believe this is 2024 increasingly is turning out to be a hinge in time, right? 50 years of Dungeons & Dragons, this is what the next 50 years looks like. Because there's so many incredibly powerful changes that come from this one thing. One of the other things I think that's really fascinating is by combining with Lego, I think Dungeons & Dragons has proven there's no intellectual property, there's no product collaboration that is above them. Balenciaga, Tag Heuer, anything, Nike, right? Like, Dungeons & Dragons Nikes, actually, I think we're getting them literally because Nike owns Converse, right? There's no limit. There is no limit. And what's funny is on the OSR and the indie products, it seems like there's no start. There's no limit on what you can do with Dungeons & Dragons. It seems like there's no start on what can be done with an OSR or an indie TTRPG, which is very, very interesting. I want to thank you for, just kind of like let me share this with you today, because I'm just trying to process what, how big a change this is. And I know I'm on the front edge, like I'm farther out. Not a lot of people are talking about this set like this, but I am just so thrilled that it has arrived and we're here. Thank you for letting me share my life experience with you. I'm so happy to be in the Lego Dungeons & Dragons world. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion, nothing more, nothing less. And what's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion. And I'd really love to know what your Lego Dungeons & Dragons experience. What are your Lego Dungeons & Dragons days like? How has your world changed now that we're in a Lego Dungeons & Dragons world? I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.